Imagine inflation as a silent pickpocket standing right behind you in 2025, slipping 4 to 6% of everything you own out of your wallet every single year while you're busy scrolling, working, sleeping, living. And most people just shrug and say, that's life. But not me, because last year I turned that thief into my full-time employee. And in the next 12 minutes of your life, I'm going to hand you the exact 5 money rules I used in 2024 to flip a brutal 15% loss into a 42% gain while the world screamed about rising prices. And by the time this video ends, you'll walk away with a plug-and-play system that forces 20% of your income to fight inflation for you on autopilot. No spreadsheets, no crystal ball, no finance degree required. Just 4 dead simple steps and 3 unbreakable asset layers that transformed my personal financial nightmare into a 2025 war chest. So stick around until rule number 5, because that's the one that literally prints money while you're offline. And let's start with the first brutal truth I had to swallow. Cash is radioactive waste. Yes, I used to worship cash like every guru told me to. 6 months emergency fund, park it in a savings account, feel safe. But then 2023 hit me like a freight train when inflation spiked to 7.8% and my so-called safe cash lost 39 million VND in purchasing power in just 9 months. And I realized cash isn't an asset, it's a melting ice cube. So on January 1st, 2024, I opened my banking app and saw 480 million VND sitting in a 0.1% account, doing absolutely nothing except dying. And I gave myself a 72-hour ultimatum. Anything above 1 month's living expenses is radioactive. Set the timer, and if it's still there by hour 73, I pay myself a stupidity tax. And let me tell you, by hour 68, every single dong over my burn rate was gone, wired straight into the 3-layer inflation shield I'm about to reveal. And that one decision alone saved me 22 million in erosion that year, which brings us to rule number 2. You build the 3-layer inflation shield, and layer 1 is digital gold. 15% of the 20% slice. And no, I don't mean your aunt's gold bracelet. I mean tokenized gold on blockchain. GLD ETF or Pax Gold. Instant liquidity, 0 storage fee. Track spot price 1-to-1. Because when central banks hit print, gold smells the smoke before anyone else. Layer 2 is growth dividend stocks. 50% of the slice, and I hunt companies that raise their dividends faster than inflation can run. Think VIG, SCHD, or solid Vietnamese blue chips paying 6 to 8% yield with 10% annual payout growth. So if inflation jumps 5%, my income from these stocks jumps 10. I'm not praying for price appreciation. I'm farming cash flow like a digital landlord. And layer 3 is mini real estate. 35% of the slice, 1 studio apartment in District 9, 30% down, rented on Airbnb, gross yield 11%, net 8 after inflation. The tenant pays the mortgage, inflation pays me, and I still remember the day I signed the papers. Heart pounding, but 12 months later that tiny box was spitting out more cash than my old corporate job ever did. And now rule number 3. You automate the 20% income transfer in 4 stupid simple steps so your money moves before your brain can sabotage it. Step 1 is the payday trigger. Link your salary account to a free sub-account I call the war chest. Set a standing order so the second payroll hits, 20% vanishes before you even see it. Step 2 is the micro split. Inside the war chest, you create 3 labeled buckets. Bucket A for digital gold with an auto buy GLD every Monday. Bucket B for dividend stocks with an auto invest into VNM ETF and SCHD every 15th. Bucket C for mini real estate down payment, manual wire. Once you hit 120 million, step 3 is the 48-hour rule. Any money sitting in the war chest longer than 48 hours gets hit with a 5% laziness fee I wire to a charity I can't stand. Because pain is the best motivator on earth. And step 4 is the quarterly rebalance on coffee. Every 90 days, I grab an iced Viet coffee, log in, sell whatever layer grew fattest, buy whatever lagged. Takes 11 minutes, I timestamp the receipt, proof I'm still in the game, and I've got the blurred screenshots to prove it. And now, rule number 4. You turn inflation into a salary. You don't have to negotiate for, because most people see 5% inflation and cry, but I see a 5% raise. I didn't have to beg my boss for. Let me show you the math. Average salary in Vietnam, 15 million a month. 20% auto shift equals 3 million, invested at 12% net nominal return. Historical average of the 3-layer shield, year 1 ending balance around 38 million, inflation ate 1.8 million of purchasing power from the original 15 million salary, but the shield printed 4.5 million nominal gain. Net I earned an extra 2.7 million because prices rose. Translation, inflation became my unpaid intern, and I'll never forget March 2024 when rice jumped 18%, gasoline 22, my tenant paid 25% more rent year over year because I indexed the lease to CPI, and my dividend bucket alone paid $9.2 million in Q2. Inflation wasn't a crisis, it was a promotion, and now we arrive at rule number 5, the sleep mint protocol, the one that separated me from the 99% because this is where money prints while you're offline. Component 1 is drip everything. Every dividend, every rental profit, every capital gain distribution gets reinvested instantly. No human touch, I turned on Drippy. For SCHD, VNM, and my Airbnb management company auto buys fractional shares of VND ETF with surplus cash flow. Component 2 is the 3-to-1 lever. For every $3 million of net rental profit, I pull $1 million as a low interest loan against the property at 6.5% and buy another dividend ETF. Debt good, inflation pays the interest. Component 3 is the annual tax harvest. Vietnam lets you loss harvest inside the same tax year. Every December, I sell my tiny losers, offset gains, immediately repurchase a similar but not identical asset, zero tax, same exposure, and the result, December 31st, 2024, snapshot, total invested capital $480 million, market value $682 million, cash flow generated while sleeping $78 million. Effective sleep mint rate 16.2% on capital, 100% passive, and here's the 2025 roadmap month by month so you can copy paste my year. January, open the war chest and set the 20% auto transfer. February, first digital gold purchase 1 ounce Pax Gold. March dividend layer live $10 million into SCHD. April scout first mini real estate deal under $400 million. July close the property tenant moves in. October 1st sleep mint dividend reinvestment hits $7 million mark. December rebalance tax harvest toast with iced coffee. And yeah, people always hit me with objections. I don't have 20% to spare. Start with 5. The muscle memory is the same. I started at 8% in 2022. Real estate sounds scary. Buy a studio with a tenant already in place. Management company takes 12%. You keep 88 net. I bought my first unit sight unseen and it still printed money. The market might crash. Dividend layer pays whether price goes up or down. Gold hedges chaos. Real estate has a human living in it. Someone always needs a roof. And here's your homework. Do it in the next 72 hours or the stupidity tax kicks in. 1. Open the war chest sub account. 2. Set the 20% auto transfer. Or 5. If you're scared, 3. Buy your first $100 of digital gold link in description. 4. Drop shield activated in the comments the second you're done, and I'll personally reply to the first 100 because inflation isn't coming. It's already here picking your pocket. Stop being the victim, turn the thief into your employee, and I'll see my money growing while I sleep. Remember, the rich don't work for money in 2025. They make inflation work for them. Class dismissed.